Good morning, everyone. It's 5:22:23, and we're gonna go ahead and jump right into this trade ideas. All right, let's get started. So we're gonna go up to the higher time frame. So what we were thinking last week, well, we don't care what we were thinking last week because it's a new week. So we see a clear break here, this larger structural point. All right, so we go up to the weekly. That is clearly a weekly break here and a close, body close to be more specific. All right, boom, up. So now what are we looking for? Well, we're gonna look for a slight retracement to continue higher. So we'd ask, where's the last down move for the up move that's unmitigated? So we see move here, finally move up. Where did that come from? You could argue somewhere in here. So we could be looking at something like this. Go down to the daily. To be frank, right? Boom, break up. I mean, this seems like a very good area down here. Excuse me. So we could potentially see, because you see up here is a lot of mitigated, but we saw this open and it just took off, right? It just took off to the moon. So let's continue to go down and refine. And again, we continue to see intermediate price action, right? Structural points being put in, right? And then it comes up. This looks like it was to come down here. This is what we'd see. But I mean, this move here it's a 5% move. I don't know that we see 5% moves on the daily, right? Let's see here. Right, so the equivalent of this particular move happens over probably 2 to 3 days. So if we are to see some type of bearish move down, probably would be over a few days. So then maybe that might not be the most quote unquote realistic at this point. So break up, right? Break up. We can keep going down, see what we're seeing. You see on the 30-minute, you have this right here. Right, you have that area. You have this area. Right, stripe pajamas. I'm just looking for zones where price opened and it continued up. Right, came down, open, continued up, and created a slight structural push. Of course, on the weekly, we see it all the way down here. But if we want to continue bullish, right, so our target ultimately is this next area here. So we continue to zoom in, and we look. That is a long way up, right? So even if we did do something like this, right, that is a large chunk of pie or slice in most cases, right? So what do we do then? That's a great question. So what I'd say is once we get down, and it looks like this is some type of reaccumulation of lows, breaking lows, we could possibly see breaking highs. Look like it might start to continue up from here. Then of course you go down to these lower time frames. You see some clear zones in here, which by any stretch of the imagination, right, it's only 0.55% down move, which doesn't seem out of the wheelhouse of what could happen today before ultimately coming a bit higher, right? If we did this, right, add some cushion, yeah, we could see a nice 1 to 3. Nice 1 to 3, break even, right, continue up, trail the stop 1 to 8. So I'd be happy to look there, actually. for a confirmation. Now again, what does a confirmation look like? Well, we see, honestly, lows breaking lows, but I want to see it come in, do one more reaccumulation into here. It looks like highs breaking highs, break down, right, retest, come down on a lower time frame. So I want to see something like this, right? That would be great to see. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put the alert on. That's not what I was looking for. All right, we're gonna make this a demand zone. Boom, bam. We're gonna wait for it to happen. We're just gonna remove this as well, and we're just gonna let this play out. All right, Euro. Let's go up to the daily here. Comes down, comes back up. Let's look a bit higher. Yeah, so right here, we break down, where is it coming from? It looks like, I mean, obviously on the monthly, this is overall bearish here, right? And we look for the last unmitigated zone right here. Like we potentially be tapping into that. Because you look here, open, right? Mitigation, open, mitigates about 50%, keeps coming down, right? It opens and then it just falls off, right? And this aligns with potential break. So you could actually argue this might be the actual area here too. And this is, of course, on the monthly, so these are very large areas. Let's go on the weekly, see what's going on. And then when we see another picture, right? So we see it come down, comes in, taps into this area, falls off, right? Falls off, right? Mitigated here, falls off. We started some bullish push. So we might start to come down a bit. Break, break. I want to see it come somewhere in here though. So we could actually be looking at something like this. Because it comes and it falls off. Refine it to that area. We have another new looking picture here. Right, breaks, break down. Where'd it come from? Well, that's mitigated. Mitigated. You could argue something in here, but let's go down a bit further. Let's go to 12-hour. Right. So what I'm looking at here is you have this large wick up, which isn't a body close, so we wanted to see a break here. Right, which it did. Where did that come from? In here somewhere. So you could argue continue bullet or bearish here. But let's continue down. Let's go to a 6 hour. Let's half that. See what we got going on. Right, and again, we just see wicks here. We do see a body close here, so we could say, okay, well, body close. Now that's valid, right, for buys, but then we see the break of this particular structural point here, right? Boom, break down. Where'd it come from in here? I mean, that looks like a nice area to look for sells off of, right? Come down, we see another breakdown, come up, break down, right? So we could potentially see Maybe some zones in here. Let's go ahead and have that. I mean, this still looks really juicy up here. Does anything look good in here? I mean, you could say this. Only thing is it opens and it mitigates the open. You do have this large wick. We would have to see what happens from there. So let's go ahead and have this a bit. See what we're looking at here. Yeah, open. That wick seems to be mitigated. It seems it gets smaller and smaller, right? So it breaks down, breaks down. I mean, you can see the open here. We got some striped pajamas forming. Highs, breaking highs. Maybe we come up in here to continue lower. So we're going to see what happens when we get here. Let's go ahead and set that alert up. Fly zone, boom. Awesome. Let's go to gold. Looks like we broke down that zone, so let's restart our bias. Yeah, we're just so close to this. All right, if we zoom out a bit, we're close to the all-time highs. Didn't quite break it, right? But we're very close. We did it like that, right? And we did it like this. This is the monthly. Ultimately, though, I mean, this is a tough one. On the monthly, doesn't look very good, right? Because we're still trading in this range here. We still yet to break above it or below it. And I think we still can break above. So we're going to go ahead and zoom in a bit. See what's going on here. Break above, right? So now, you could argue we're something like this. We can zoom in a bit more. Yeah, I mean, you have this complete area right here, which we're already inside of, right? So we're looking, I mean, we need to see a break here, right? Because you have this large move down. It looks like it wants to bounce back up and then come back, retest. But we can't be really sure of that at the moment. Large move down. If we're looking on a lower time frame, wick up, body close, we could be looking for buys off of here to run those highs. So we're going to go ahead and first and foremost, let's see what this percentage move would look like. 1%, it's not too bad. So if we were to look for a buy, measure it out. Yeah, I mean, we could get a nice 1 to 3 in there. All right. Let's go ahead and set the alert. Be a demand zone, and we're gonna leave it at that. Let's just go look at other pairs for the fun of it, right? Because at the end of the day, this is interesting to look at these prices and see how they move and see what happens with them. So have this break below. Oof. Large move up. Maybe it's actually reaccumulation. We want to see it come here. So we want to see it run $122. Look at the weekly. Starting to move. in a slightly bullish fashion, right? But I mean, ultimately, you look at this and it does look bearish, to be fair. Although we could say it could be a potential reaccumulation, lows, breaking lows, right? Now we want to see it break the high on the monthly, right? And then we can pull back to continuation. Because if you ultimately see this, right, something like this, right, we come down and move up. It just mitigated the open and it took off. So we could be mitigating that particular zone there. And we zoom in, right? And of course, when we look at the daily time frame, we see this breaks down. We see it shoot up, come down, we're breaking again, right? So that's a double break up, which seems like it would be bullish. So then maybe we see, if we want to remain bullish, we have a gap here. So came down, open, took off, came down, broke up again. I mean, to be fair, I think something like that. We'll see potential boom, boom, like this. And I mean, that is a 3% move, which, I mean, that would make 4% on the day down to come up. Not too bad. You zoom in a bit. Looks like we got a mitigation of that open here. You try and refine it just a bit. We're looking, we come up, right? Come up. You see a slight mitigation of this open, right? Came in, mitigated the open, continued on. I think we could still see it potentially come down into there somehow. All right, that's going to be that. Let's go and look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is just moving sideways for now. I really don't even, just explodes up. So I mean, we probably see some pretty crazy move down into here. Probably some ridiculous to continue up. Let's look at this. Looks like this is just continually floating to the highs. So that is going to conclude our trade ideas for 5/22/23. Hope you learned something. Hit the comment section. Let me know what you want to see. And give me your feedback on the video. Like, dislike, so I know if this is beneficial or if it's not. Anyways, hope you all have a wonderful day. It's your man's Trade Life with B-Phil. I'm out. Peace.